David Benavidez, my man, champ, you tried to make the fight happen in Saudi Arabia. You heard Canelo spit out a number, 150 to 200 million to make the fight happen. You decided to go on Instagram, tag His Excellency Turki, Alalshik, and we finally got a response. All right, gave a nice little caption. Hey, listen, if I win, if I lose, it's gonna be charitable. You tried, man. You tried your hardest to make the fight happen, and at the end of the day, no, it's not gonna happen. Not under His Excellency's watch. He says like, nah, I'm not gonna make it happen, y'all. So I saw something on Twitter, and it's been going around saying that, Turki Alalshik, basically Alalshik, I believe. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing His Excellency's last name, but he simply said that the fight is not going to happen. It's not practical, and yeah, he's not going to invest 150 million, 200 to make that fight happen in Saudi Arabia. Now, can you blame him? All right, can you blame him? Not at all. There's a lot of great fights happening. Better Beef is going to be happening in Saudi Arabia. Of course, we got the Benavidez fight coming in June. A lot of really good fights happening at 175. But it got me thinking. I started thinking about this. First and foremost, let's get straight with this, all right? And this has nothing to do with, he's, a Canelo fanboy. Let's just be objective about what occurred these past few days with this whole 150 million, 200 offer that the media went crazy. And also all us YouTubers and all that. It made headlines, and it was something for us to talk about or whatnot. And by the way, first time here, hit like, subscribe. Sometimes I'll do this car confessional thing where I'll just get on and share some thoughts about what's happening with boxing. I just want to share the latest on this, all this gossip, all this talk happening with the 200 million offer. Okay, first and foremost, all right, Canelo, during that, whenever he was being interviewed and he spit out that number, you can tell that he was, let's be objective. He was very frustrated by the interviewer, the reporter who was asking the question, what would it take? And he went on and, you have to pay me 150 million or whatever, but what does David Benavidez bring? Let's get psychological here, okay? His state of mind, he was very frustrated. You could tell he's frustrated, and rightfully so. Look, the man is, the fight is signed. He has a deal. He has a fight with Jaime Munguia, and people bombarding him with the David Benavidez, right? And I get it. Boxing fans, reporters, boxing media, everybody wants to see this Benavidez-Canelo fight. And the pressure's on, right? He feels it, and he's constantly going to be bombarded with this. Why are you not fighting your mandatory, and fighting Jaime Munguia, David Benavidez. Excuse me, man. My mind is too much coffee earlier today. So I think he's getting frustrated. When he blurted out that number, he was frustrated. He's like, and I think he was just like, well, let me just give him some absurd number, and let me get him off my back. And that's exactly what happened in the media, and we all, ran with it. And we're like, oh my God, he's asking for that much money. Who does he think he is? He isn't Floyd Mayweather. Oh my God, what? But I think he's just frustrated. He blurted that number out, and everybody takes that out of context as usual and ran with it, all right? So here's the thing, and His Excellency, Turki Alalshik, he's basically said, look, it's not practical. This is not part of our roadmap. We all know that the I think they're lining him up for the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. If it's a competitive fight, I think we'll see. I think a rematch. I believe maybe, but if not, I think if Benavidez wins this fight in June, which is going to be, nobody's talking about the fight. It's going to be a really competitive fight. Benavidez is a big boy, but now he's going to be going up against some other big boys in that 175 division. So I don't think it's going to be a division that he's just going to cruise and beat everybody up. I think it's going to be different there. All right, I digress. I feel that the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev will fight. We'll get a shot at that Benavidez. If he wins, that will happen. All right. So, look, I mean, they have their track. That's that 175. I feel like that's kind of starting to kind of unfold of what that looks like as far as who fights who, if somebody loses, etc. So I think that's what's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. I don't think he looks at the Canelo Benavidez fight as a fight that needs to happen. There's a lot of great fights to be happening. I mean, obviously, if Benavidez gets past his opponent in June, he will be fighting the winner at Benavidez and Bivol. I mean, I'm sorry, Bivol and Beterbiev. So, I mean, look, let's just the whole 150, 200 million. I mean, it's crazy. And I think Canelo is the thing. He's frustrated because, again, he has Jaime Munguia in front of him and everybody's asking about David Benavidez. Here's what, if I was part of the team Benavidez, this is what I would do. I would say, hey, Benavidez, because I know that David Benavidez is really calling for that fight, right? I would just be like, yo, cool off. Don't even mention Canelo. You got a big fight at 175 in June. Accomplish that. Then you have another big fight, possibly undisputed at 175, against two really formidable, like really top elite fighters in Beterbiev, monster, the monster at 175, and then Bivol, who's another monster technically, who's also a big challenge at 175. So Benavidez needs to focus or go back to the old school Benavidez. The Benavidez that pretty much was like, forget, if Canelo fights, wants it, great. If not, but he's already gone to 175. So if you're going to 175, just fight the big dogs there. What would be really cool is, let's say, hypothetically speaking, that he goes up to 175, does his thing in June, fights the winner at a Beterbiev and Bivol, wins, and becomes undisputed at 175. There will be even more demand for Canelo to be like, well, Canelo, we wanted you at we wanted Benavidez at 168. You've been wanting to get that championship belt at 175. Now fight the guy that you've been avoiding at 175 for undisputed. That would be like, I mean, talk about the most epic unfolding narrative that we can have in boxing right now. To have that in maybe next year, and then that could generate a lot of money. And I believe that, His Excellency Turki, Alalshik, that's where he would be like, all right, I'm down to put in that 200 million. Now it's worth it. Now we got undisputed at Benavidez being a monster at 175, and now here's Canelo moving up weight to fight the guy he's been avoiding at 168, and now let's get him at 175. That's the narrative that would really, really merit a 200 million fight. That would be something. Okay, although that's still an absurd amount of money. But at least with all of that happening, that would make for a mega super fight. Mega super fight. So, yeah, all that to be said, Benavidez, go back to the original plan. Don't say nada about Canelo. Focus on what you got to focus on. Don't mention anything. Jose Benavidez Sr., I wouldn't even mention anything else. Just let Canelo do his thing. Benavidez is on his path. And then let it all unfold. Let it all unfold. I mean, listen, we're not going to get Benavidez at 168. Canelo's not going to get him at 168. Then so be it. Let Canelo do his thing. I think there's so much demand for Canelo to do this and to do that. I mean, the man at the end of the day, I mean, he's the one who gets the most pressure. And everybody's, well, he's a face of boxing, you know, that's demanded. I'm like, yeah, but when the face of boxing demands bukus of money, let's say, right, 200 million. People are like, oh, you're getting too greedy. You can't do that. You're not Mayweather. I mean, well, come on, man. All right, then. But you're coining him as the face of boxing. So you're trying to call his shots. And I think what it is, again, this is kind of like the double-edged sword, right? He is the man. He is the cash cow. He's bringing in the most money. He's a spectacle, you know, in boxing. Facts, right? So there's so much pressure for the man to be able to be like, I want to fight here. And it's right. I said this in the last video. Let's say he fights Benavidez, he beats Benavidez, then it's gonna be like, well, Crawford. Oh, well, shit. Go back to Bivol. You're ducking Bivol, though. You know, so there's always gonna be something around circulating around who he needs to fight. And I guess if you put yourself in his shoes, I would be pretty pissed and frustrated to be like, no, I'm gonna handle and do what I gotta do. Like, this is my career. I don't get a F what anybody else says. I'm gonna be on my path. And he has his path. He has the way he's doing things. So for that, I respect him. Don't think he's ducking him. I think for whatever reason, again, he's on his path. Do we need to see that at 160? Absolutely. Why didn't we get it? I don't know. But guess what? Guess what, boxing fans? He's going to be fighting a young, hungry Jaime Munguia who is improving. And whether or not you think he beats him or not, it's going to be a tough Mexican fighter going up against Canelo on May 4th. I just don't sleep on Jaime Munguia. I do feel like Canelo definitely has the edge, but don't sleep on Munguia, you know? And I feel like people are just disregarding. Again, Benavidez has a tough fight at 175. Don't sleep, guys. Like, listen, don't sleep, you know? So I think boxing is exciting. 168, 175 is going to be interesting to see what happens after the Munguia fight, if Canelo gets past Munguia, and then onwards what Benavidez does and all that. But at the end of the day, better be Bivol, Canelo, Benavidez. A lot of fights to be made at 168, 175. So it's really exciting to see that happening. So anyhow, I just wanted to shoot this video and say, hey, it's official. No fight in Saudi Arabia. It's not going to happen. I think it could be a big fight. All right. I did a video about that in the previous one. It could be a big fight. Could be. Maybe not now. Maybe not now. Obviously, because it's not going to happen. Benavidez has his path, and I think we're going to see it. But man, wouldn't it be crazy if Benavidez became undisputed at 175, and Canelo now feels the pressure to go to 175 to fight the man that supposedly he's ducking at 168 for the undisputed. Man, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of that narrative? How that right there is a mega fight. It's been brewing. It's been brewed. It's been marinated. It's ready to go. Undisputed 175. Canelo, Benavidez. I mean, hey, listen, a man can dream. All right. Hit like, subscribe. Thank you again for checking it out. And I'll catch you in the next video, y'all. Peace.